Hello and welcome to the Good Robot Andys, Season 3, Episode 2. My name is Andy Balaam.
And I am Andy Cockerill.
And the film we're talking about tonight is...
The Girl with All the Gifts. That's gifts, as in presents, rather than gifts.
The Girl with All the Gifts.
Not the girl with all the gifts. The Girl with All the Gifts.
But before we talk about that film, we need to discuss the extensive feedback from you, our listeners.
Oh, yeah. So, listener, you haven't been in touch with us. We're disappointed, but we'll plough on regardless.
Yeah, I think everyone's so happy with the podcast. They don't have any particular comments.
That's the only thing I can really ascertain from it, because, you know, if we look at people like Kermode and Mayo, they get loads and loads of correspondence, which must mean everyone's really, really, really unhappy with them.
Yeah, there's so much to criticise. You know, thousands and thousands of people have to let them know about the mistakes they've made.
Exactly. Whereas we don't make many.
No.
He said, now opening himself up to masses. I'm pretty sure I've made loads of mistakes on this podcast, crediting people where they shouldn't be credited and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Although,
it's okay.
You know, everybody makes that mistake. Look at what happened in the Oscars last night. Have you heard about? Did you read about this? Or
let's not talk about
it?
the stupid Oscars fiasco.
And the winner is not La La Land.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It is stupid, isn't
I'm not interested.
Yeah, it is stupid.
Yeah,
I agree. It's stupid that there isn't in any. Well, maybe there is in some awards that I haven't heard of, but certainly in the ones that I've heard of, there isn't even a best performance category. It's still best female this, best male that. They should just put them all together. It would make more sense.
right.
That way, Meryl Streep would win every year.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I'd like that.
I like her speeches.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
But I don't see any point in the whole thing, so...
Fair enough. Should we cracketh on?
So, yeah, I mean, with the atmosphere established, as sort of cold and unfriendly.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's go on. So, so what happens at this point in the podcast is... Remind me of the title of the film?
The Girl with All the Gifts.
The Girl with All the Gifts. So at this point, I summarise the film. I'll give you a short review without having seen the film or heard anything about it until earlier today when Andy told me the title of it. I can tell you that it is quite a short film, 72 minutes, which is an earnest... it's sort of a twisting around of a high school dropout, loser, quiet girl drama where she has ghostly powers. But then I can't really tell you anymore because it will spoil it too much, but it goes very strange in the last third.
Oh, interesting. Okay. No.
Am I correct?
No.
Ah.
Not even close. Not even close. So it's not 72 minutes.
Good, because I really didn't want to watch that film.
Okay. You might want to watch this one, though. So it's not
Right.
72 minutes. It's actually 111 minutes long, so
Okay.
it's of a decent length. It's a British film. We don't do many British films on this podcast.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's probably to do with the stuff that I watch and...
Are we anti-British?
No, we're not anti-British. We're bigly British.
Okay.
It's the best.
We're the most British podcast.
I'm the most British podcast.
I do. Whenever I put it on SoundCloud or YouTube, I do put British as one of the tags because I think that's one of our core attractions as a podcast.
Yeah, definitely. It's
our Britishness.
It's the most. It's the most and least of something else, but you know,
it's our unique selling point.
It's unique USP.
Along with being two middle-aged white males talking in a podcast
about films and technology. Yes. So this is a British post-apocalyptic. I always have issues with that phrase because if there's an apocalypse, there's nothing else, right? So how can
everybody's dead?
How can there be they're all dead, Dave.
Everybody's dead.
Everybody's dead, Dave. But anyway,
Dead.
this is a phrase that gets bandied about a lot. So, a
It's
post-apocalyptic.
post-apocalyptic event.
Yes. It's a zombie horror drama film.
The only type of film I'd like to watch.
Yes, and obviously there's been a lot of these. Probably since George Romero had a sort of resurgence with Land of the Dead.
Which was
That
okay.
we all went to see. You, me and Pierre went to see that, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, at the View in Staines. And
Yeah, it was good.
Rather enjoyed it.
Not as good as The Dawn of the Dead.
No, it's not as good as any of. It's not as good as Night of the Living Dead, which is an immense film.
No.
And
I would say it's considerably better than Day of the Dead.
Yeah, Day of the Dead is not good.
And we don't even talk about Diary of the Dead.
I haven't seen it.
Or Shame of George Romero.
Shame of the Dead. It occasionally gets screened on terrestrial TV, and I just can't bring myself to do it.
Well, the other day I was telling my friends or family or someone about how awful it was, and I suggested we watch it as a curiosity. And we got about 5 minutes in, and I just couldn't bear it.
It was that bad.
Yeah, it's not even fun as a curiosity.
Oh, man. Okay, so we're digressing slightly. So, excuse me. The zombie drama has rarely been away from the screens, but I think of late, it's been everywhere. You think that it's run out of steam, and then up pops another one to sort of make you think, well, maybe it hasn't run out of steam. And this is one.
When you say when you say zombie drama,
mm-hmm.
does that imply there's more human interest and less?
Yes.
Okay, do continue. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. So up pops something like this, which sort of reinvigorates the genre in quite a big way. Excuse me, I'm very very phlegmy this evening. You might have to cut those out.
Your video is incredibly laggy, so it's going to look on the video like I edited the video together really badly.
That's awesome. Okay,
But viewer, and I really, when I am addressing the viewer, I think there literally is only one.
Okay.
I apologise, but it's not my fault.
So it came out last year. It's it's available for some kind of home viewing right now, which is how I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Colm McCarthy, who previously to this has done quite a lot of BBC television. So he's directed some episodes of things like Peaky Blinders, which I've never seen, but I've heard is very good.
Yeah, I heard of it.
It's written by someone called M.R. Carey and adapted from his novel of the same name. And it stars some people you may have heard of. Gemma Arterton, who's a British actress.
Just tell me the name one more time. It won't stick in my head.
What, the name of the film?
Yeah.
The Girl with All the Gifts.
The Girl with All the Gifts. Okay.
So it stars Gemma Arterton, Paddy Considine, who's Paddy
Considine of that film
Dead Man's Shoes.
That you really don't want to watch again.
I'd happily watch it again. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, but it's a painful watch.
It is a painful watch, but it is a compelling piece of work, I think, Dead Man's Shoes. And he's terrific in it. He's the beating heart of that film. Glenn Close, so American actress Glenn Close is in this.
Mm-hmm.
And a young newcomer called Senia Nanua, who plays one of the infected.
Mm-hmm.
So
are they infected?
Yes, they are. So
okay.
We sort of drop into this story, unlike things like 28 Days Later, which sort of start at the beginning of a zombie apocalypse. This one drops us in quite a long way into it, and explains by way of not too much Basil exposition, but it explains what's been going on.
Okay.
That most of humanity has been wiped out by a fungal infection, which, if it doesn't kill you, it turns you into a bloodthirsty zombie.
Okay.
And these
is it
things
some kind of protein thing?
Yeah, it could be
like a brain protein.
Yeah. But
that wouldn't be fungal.
No,
I think that would be better. I'm improving it already.
But the there are children who look completely normal, like normal humans,
Mm-hmm.
who are what's known as second generation infected. And
Wow.
they've been born of women who were pregnant when they got infected.
Mm-hmm.
And these children have been born, they look normal, but they can kind of transform into, not physically transform, but transform in the way that they hunt into not completely mindless zombies. So they're kind of evolving.
Okay.
And she plays one of those second generation. And these children are being studied by Glenn Close, who's a doctor,
Okay.
who's trying to find a vaccine.
She's just a survivor.
Yeah, she's trying to find
Yeah.
a vaccine, trying to find a cure
Mm-hmm.
for this fungal infection. But so far, she hasn't had any luck.
Mm-hmm.
And they're at a military installation in an undisclosed location. Gemma Arterton is a school teacher. She's there to teach these children, although she is somewhat conflicted because these children are essentially test subjects.
Okay.
They, the numbers of children that she teaches are diminishing day by day because they mysteriously disappear to have things, to be test subjects.
Do they occasionally go on the rampage as well?
There is a scene when Paddy Considine, who plays a sergeant who's nominally in charge of this installation, he gets rather impatient and annoyed with Gemma Arterton, who seems to think that these children are normal,
Mm-hmm.
and he shows her that they are anything but normal by deliberately getting one of them to attack him or try to attack him.
Okay.
And then she then sees that they are, pretty terrifying and lethal. But of course, everything goes pear-shaped. They can't stay in this installation for very long because that would be pretty boring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a massive horde of zombies or infected outside of the installation, and they break in and cause all kinds of trouble. So the school teacher, the doctor, the sergeant, and the young girl, the second generation, have to escape in a jeep. And
So she's with them. So they're not that dangerous. And
well,
she's second generation.
she's with them, but she's in. She's got shackles on, and she's got like a Hannibal Lecter style mask,
Nice.
so she can't bite them.
Uh-huh.
And if you get bitten, then you are also infected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you are a first generation, then you're just a mindless zombie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're heading for the city to try and find some help. And they run into all kinds of difficulty out there. And when they get to the city, they find that the fungus is mutating and evolving yet again. Because they get to what looks like the post office tower that is now the BT Tower in London,
Okay.
and they find that the whole thing is covered in spores, and that the zombies and the infected have been piling up around it and sort of growing onto it.
Okay.
It's all very sort of Day of the Triffids, it's
Mm-hmm.
sort of biological horror that's very reminiscent of the kind of stuff that David Cronenberg does.
Is this film a bit silly? Or?
No, it's really good.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
yes,
Just checking.
yeah, okay. No, not silly at all. It's deadly serious.
Mm-hmm.
So they discover this, and what they sort of take from this is that these spores are waiting for a fire or some kind of event to get them to pop open and spread around the world and infect everybody else who's still.
So it seems like
human.
it's maybe localized to the UK at the moment. Or,
Yeah, maybe, but these
or
spores. It looks like it's
or
going
just
to be
that there are some.
a global event.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so while they're escaping to the city, that's through the fields of
Yes.
England, is it?
Yeah, fields and forests and things of that kind. There's some really nail-biting stuff in a forest when they they have to stop to try and find some food and to sort of take comfort breaks and that kind of thing. And one of the soldiers doesn't have a silencer on their weapon, and they're besieged by some of the undead, and she accidentally lets her weapon off, and then that just brings more and more of them, and they have to escape. And so the sergeant has to make a tough decision about someone who's been bitten, and in sort of true zombie drama style, this person is saying, no, I'm not, I haven't been bitten, I've just been scratched, I'm okay. But he knows full well that they have been bitten, so he takes action to make sure that they aren't put in danger.
So this is all a bit Walking Dead.
It is, absolutely, yes. It's very reminiscent of The Walking Dead. It's reminiscent of 28 Days Later. But its scope is much bigger. So this had a very modest budget. But the filmmakers have very cleverly used drone footage of... there's an abandoned city near Chernobyl in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They've used drone footage of that. And then they've CGI effects. They've used CGI effects to make it look like an abandoned London.
Wow!
So it looks really amazing. There's stuff in this that you just would not believe that they would be able to do this on the budget that they had. It's stunning. They also use some other locations in Britain as well. Some abandoned shopping centres in the Midlands. It all looks really gritty, and considering the budget, I think that it looks better than 28 Days Later, which I think is maybe showing its age a bit these days because it was shot on video. And at that time, shooting on video was not the same as shooting on video now, in terms of
it was kind of deliberately a bit wobbly cam, low quality, wasn't it?
Yeah, deliberately lo-fi and.
I actually thought it was a bit rubbish as well.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of... I think 28 Days Later is a good film. I just don't think it's a great film.
I preferred 28 Weeks Later.
Yeah, that's
the sequel,
really good. That is really good.
Because it had what's-his-name in it out of Trainspotting.
Robert Carlyle.
Yeah.
And he turns into...
And he was good.
Yeah, he becomes infected very quickly, doesn't he?
And I thought there was this great fuss about 28 Days Later because there was that scene in London which was dramatic, where London was empty, and everyone was like, ooh, London was empty. And then it became a film that didn't really know what its point was.
Yeah.
It had running zombies, which just, which was fine, but zombies don't really run.
Although they
actually,
do,
the running zombies in the Dawn of the Dead remake they're okay with them because that's good.
Which is a decent Zack Snyder film. I like the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of energy.
It's decent.
It's got a lot of energy, hasn't it? Yeah. Certainly the running zombies have a lot of energy.
Yeah. I mean, there's no need for it because obviously you could just watch Dawn of the Dead, but I think it did a decent job.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Anyway, but whereas 28 Days Later, I thought there was a lot of fuss about that, and there was really, when you get down to what the plot of that film is, it's just that they think they're safe, and then actually they're not safe because of the people they're
the army
with.
The army people.
And that's like, really? That's your whole point?
I think that,
anyway.
I think it had a high profile because of Danny Boyle and the screenplay by Alex Garland, and the cast was very good. But I think I personally think that it's less than the sum of its parts. 28 Days Later.
Right. I think that's a good way of expressing what I think.
Yeah. There you go. Excellent. It's less than the sum of its parts. Whereas The Girl with All the Gifts is very much, is very much as good as, if not better than, the sum of its parts in terms of its cast and locations and some of it's truly nail-biting. There's a scene when they arrive in the city and they're looking for safe haven. They have to walk through massive amount of infected to try and get into an abandoned hospital, which looks safe, it looks secure. And the thing with the infected is that they kind of go into hibernation if they haven't had anything to eat for a long time.
Okay.
So they're just standing there in this abandoned shopping centre, and the folks have to walk between them to get into where they go without waking them up. Yeah, it's very reminiscent of. There's a scene in I Am Legend, the Will Smith film,
which was okay.
Yeah, well, I really like it actually. I think it's a great film. But there's a scene very similar to that where his dog runs into a building full of the zombie creatures, and he has to not wake them up during the day. It's very similar to that in terms of how nail-biting it is, how powerful
I Am Leg End.
I Am Leg End, starring My Foot. And the Oscar goes to My Hand. Oh, no, sorry. No.
My Leg End.
My Leg End. It's comedy gold, this one, isn't it? We're knocking it out of the park tonight.
I apologise. I don't know what's come over me.
That's okay. That's what Warren Beatty said. So there's that scene in The Girl with All the Gifts, which is very effective and very well played. And then there's another scene later on in the film when a group of second generation, a group of children infected, they lure one of the soldiers to his death, basically to be lunch, because they're actually quite smart. They can strategize and form groups of very effective hunters, a bit like wolves in a way. So the young girl who's sort of she is, part of our group, but she has an uneasy alliance. She knows full well that she is going to be the subject of experimentation, so she's not actually that enthusiastic about that. But she does help them out by when they're in a very tight spot, they go off to look for this soldier and find out that he's been killed. And then these children arrive, and she kills the leader, and then sort of takes control of the group of children.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so she actually saves them.
Yeah, she does. She becomes the alpha of that group.
Okay.
And then she is having a conversation with the doctor, and the doctor essentially says that she doesn't believe that any of them are special, and she just wants to find a cure. And this young girl says, well, then why should we die for you? And goes out to the BT Tower and sets it on fire.
Okay, so she's
ending the world, basically. And
is she cross?
She's really angry. Yeah, she's angry that that she's being, potentially going to be used as a guinea pig when the doctor has no respect for her at all, even though she's clearly, she's not a mindless killer. She's intelligent.
Yeah.
So she brings about the end of the world, but she saves the school teacher.
Okay.
And then in the final scene of the film, we see because they've been hanging out in like a secure, mobile hospital. We see the teacher behind a secure screen, teaching the second generation infected. It's like school all over again. And that's her role, is to try and teach this new world, teach it about the past, and prepare it for the future. So it's a slightly bleak ending. And not at all what I expected. I expected them to come through and try and find a cure and that kind of thing, but none of in that respect, it's almost like it's a fresh start with what is effectively a new life form on planet Earth. Something that's evolved from human beings and this fungus that has infected us. And that's the film.
Okay, so a couple of things occurred to me.
Yes.
I think the main question that needs to be answered is, I thought zombie films had been done, and then along came The Walking Dead, and I was like, wow, there's, like, even though it's more of the same, it's so great, I want more of the same. But it didn't bring much more than, it just kind of, what Walking Dead did was just expanded the films that normally lasted 90 minutes out to, you know, how many seasons it is, and just tension, and I just love it.
It's a much richer experience, isn't it? Yeah.
But my point is, hasn't zombies just been done? What does this bring that's new?
Okay, so what it brings that is new is instead of just having, you're a zombie, then you get shot in the head and you die. And if you're a zombie and you're pregnant, then your child, according to the Dawn of Dead remake, then your child will also be a zombie, a mindless, bloodthirsty killer. Whereas in The Girl with All the Gifts, these second generation infected are something else entirely, and that is what it brings to it. And also the main protagonist is this young girl, which is an unusual thing to do. So those are its unique things. Those are what are fresh about this film.
She's sort of an anti-hero.
Yeah,
because I was thinking, because obviously all the zombie films have this thing of, well, sometimes it's just like a Jaws style thing of, the bad guys are getting clever, or like Aliens does it as well,
Yes.
Or these things aren't as dumb as we thought they were. But then, as the Romero films go on, it becomes much more than that, and it's this sort of noble figure who's emerging from the horror of this world. It reminds me of Ghostbusters, like the kind of awfulness of humanity has resulted in this physical manifestation of evil.
Do you mean like
and
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the zombies are actually the noble figures who are kind of lifting themselves in. I'm thinking of Land of the Dead now. The zombies are lifting themselves out of this horrific evil thing that has kind of been created by the evil of humans.
Yes.
And they're these noble figures. Anyway, the point is, this goes much further than that, because these aren't things that are just getting a bit clever or something. These are completely rational beings who are also infected.
Yes, so the first generation infected are mindless killers, but the second generation are a whole new species. Yeah, so they are.
So that reminds.
Go ahead.
That reminds me a bit of Alien Resurrection.
Oh, does it?
Because she's an anti-hero who is a combination between a human and an alien.
Oh, look, it thinks you're its mother.
Whilst it does have probably the worst final scene of any film.
Dreadful.
I like her in it.
Yeah, she's really great in it, isn't she? But it's such a bad film.
She's pretty good. She's not really great, but she's pretty good. I mean, I could watch Sigourney Weaver in most things.
Yeah.
I draw the line at that stupid thing. Which should have been good.
The newborn.
No. Yeah, I mean, no, sorry, I'm jumping films again. But
okay.
So Alien Resurrection, I thought she was good, and I thought the fact that she's the protagonist, but she's also basically an alien, was fun. And I think that's similar to what you're describing here.
Yes.
But no, then I was jumping to Prometheus. Is that the right word?
Oh, Prometheus.
No, not Prometheus. The one by the guy who made the good film, District 9.
Oh.
He made District 9, then he made...
Oh, yes.
Not Prometheus.
Chappie.
The other.
Oh, man.
No, not Chappie.
Oh, not Chappie. Oh, Elysium.
Elysium's
terrible, isn't it?
Sigourney Weaver's in Elysium,
No,
and even Sigourney Weaver.
she's not in Elysium. That's Jodie Foster.
Oh,
she's
oh,
in
it's Jodie
Chappie.
Foster.
She's in Chappie,
Is she?
which is a terrible film.
Jodie Foster was not able to rescue Elysium.
No.
I don't think I've seen Chappie.
Chappie is awful.
But I think maybe I'll just go back and watch District 9 again instead.
Yeah, that's what I generally encourage people to do, is to just watch District 9 again, because it's utterly brilliant.
It is so good. How could that be so good, and then you make Elysium?
I don't know. I think that maybe this might be a bit heretical, but I think maybe that Neil Blomkamp is not actually much of a great director of people, because a lot of District 9 was improvised, and that maybe he's a good director of action and set pieces. Vicus. And that makes me worried about, because there's an Alien sequel in the works that he's involved in with Ripley and Hicks.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes me a bit concerned about that, because that needs a steady hand to make it work.
Well, hopefully there'll be enough people around who know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully.
No, anyway, so that was okay. So you're saying the new thing it brings is this anti-hero, like in Alien Resurrection, but hopefully done better.
Yes, it brings that. It also brings the...
Does it have a weird human baby-like alien at the end that's really rubbish?
No, it doesn't have anything like that.
Okay.
No.
Okay, good.
It also has the BT tower being covered in spores, which is very strange and creepy. It's very.
I do like.
It's very Day of the Triffids.
Yeah. I do like seeing locations I recognise in films. It's very nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So there's a lot of as they are walking around London, of just sitting there going, how did they do that? How did they make it look like that? And I still don't really know, because there's this drone footage of the city in Ukraine that's then been retrofitted to look like London, but there's also a lot of very tight shots that look incredibly run down and messed up, and I have no idea how they did it. It's really, really clever.
That's what London looks like.
Maybe it does look like that. Yeah. Does it look like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So they just went and shot in London then.
They just went and shot in London. It looks post-apocalyptic if you look at it.
Yeah.
It really does.
Oh dear.
Post-apocalyptic event, not post-apocalypse.
Post-apocalyptic event.
Post-apocalyptic. Okay, so here's my other question.
Yes.
Does this have a deeper meaning, this film? Some zombie films do. Does it have a meaning that will make the world a better place because it's taught us something?
Yeah, I mean, I think what it teaches you is that you shouldn't underestimate someone just because they are young and seem to be a bit naive. You definitely shouldn't.
They might still eat your brain.
Yes, exactly. You definitely shouldn't underestimate them. I think that's what it teaches us, is that looks can be deceiving. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I'm a sucker for zombie stuff.
I think you would enjoy this a lot. I think our listener...
I'd watch anything with zombies.
I think our listener who enjoys genre, or genre, would enjoy this a great deal.
I think this might qualify as another film that some of our listeners won't want to watch because it's too nasty, but they're glad that we can explain it to them.
Yes, that may well be so. It certainly doesn't shy away from the gruey violence. There's some pretty full-on stuff in this. Yeah.
Right. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it is good.
I'm basically, since Walking Dead went onto some channel that I can't follow.
I'm still watching it, but I rent the discs, so yeah.
I think I might need to do that.
Yeah.
I want the box set, really. I think it's good enough to own.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I'm just looking at the... had a budget of £4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And
that is not a lot.
No, it's not. I mean, it's the same as I talked about a couple of films last week. There was a couple of horror movies. The Blair Witch was one of them, which was a sequel to the Blair Witch Project. That had the same budget as this film. But there's no way that you would say that Blair Witch looks better than this. No.
Hang on. Blair Witch is a sequel
to the Blair Witch Project. Yeah.
I'm not even aware that exists.
It came out last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Meh.
But I'm not talking about it because it's a bit meh.
Yeah.
But this film I don't think it made its budget back, which is a great shame. And I think that, I wanted to talk about it today because I think more people should see it. It's really, really good.
Well, if our entire listenership goes out and buys a DVD of it, then it will make its money back.
It will make its money back. Yes, indeed. I'm just looking to see what it was rated. Oh, it's 15. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not even 18.
No, it's a 15. Just looking to see strong bloody violence and some strong language.
But that obviously only makes you a 15 these days.
Yeah, it does. I think if you want to get an 18, you've got to have some really gruey violence and uses of strong language in a certain way. So there's certain words that will get you bumped up to an 18.
And I presume there's certain types of violence and ways that violence happens and so on.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, classification has changed over the years. So, certain things are more permissible than they used to be, but some things are not. So one thing that the BBFC, I'll just digress for a moment, but one thing that the BBFC are very hot on is suicide.
Right.
So they take that very seriously, and if a film contains a scene of suicide, they tend to bump up the certification to cater for that. And there's certain swear words get bumped up, and violence, as you say, violence of a certain kind. So there's probably got a 15 because most of the violence is of zombies on humans. So it's clearly fantasy.
Yeah. So I've thought a number of times in my life why I'm so keen on zombie stuff, and I think it is the sort of noble. It's the physical expression of the disgustingness of human society, I think, and then this noble beast that comes out of it.
Yeah, I think
it's beautiful.
It's a good point. I think I enjoy them because they show you how great humans can be, and also how bad humans can be when things are really desperate. And I won't deny that The Walking Dead can get a bit soapy and a bit melodramatic at times. But I think that's one of it.
But it's so joyful.
That's one of its strengths.
When it all just collapses and they're back, lost in the woods, and they've got no safe place to be, and there's no hope.
That happens every series.
Yeah, there's like a couple of times a season.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, yes, we're now you're hitting the spot.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as they become comfortable, you're thinking, okay, when's this going to end? Because it's getting boring. I don't like because when they're comfortable, then some kind of awful relationship agony starts coming in. Yeah,
and that's unbearable.
Yeah,
I prefer the physical jeopardy.
Yeah, definitely. And there's certainly
having to shoot your own relatives and things.
They're certainly coming in the end of this series that I'm watching at the moment.
Which series are you watching? 6
at the moment.
Oh wow! Oh, you're well past me.
Yeah. So I've gone past the governor at the jail.
Yeah.
There was like a season and a bit of that. There was the village, and then there was Terminus, and now they're at Alexandria.
Okay.
And but there's a big bad guy who hasn't been revealed yet. He's been talked about a lot, but he hasn't been revealed yet.
Don't tell me anything.
Okay.
I'm happy to have most spoilers, but not Walking Dead spoilers.
Okay, cool. That's all right. So, I think you need to ask me a couple of more questions.
I think I'm done with my questions.
So you're not going to ask me why it needs to exist, or?
Well, I asked you. Well, okay, go on then. Answer that. I felt I'd already answered that.
Okay.
Asked that with the one about does it have a deeper meaning? But go on and tell me what the point of it is.
What the point of it is? Okay, so it shows us that, like all really great zombie films, it shows us that human beings can be noble and can pull together in times of crisis, and it also brings a fresh new twist to the zombie drama with the introduction of these second generation infected. Yeah, that's it really.
Cool. And it's a bit scary.
Yeah, some of it's nail bitingly scary. Yeah, and gruey.
Cool. Someone mentioned a film which I can't even remember what it was, which has a pregnant main character in it who's a serial killer.
Oh yes,
He said it was good.
It's called Prevenge, and it's out. It's out now. If you can find it at any cinemas, because I think it's probably got a very limited release. But yeah, that's supposed to be good fun.
I think he went to see it at the Prince Charles in London, and he said it was really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, that reminded me of Series 7, The Contenders.
Yes, that's right.
So I went on a bit about that for a while.
Excellent.
And I thought, I'll go on a bit about it now as well.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, go see that. It's really good. When I say go see it,
rent it. Or
find it
somewhere. Somehow, somewhere. It's a really good film.
Yeah, and I think it's probably still my favourite film.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is good.
Do some pimping.
Okay, pimping. I present a radio show on Glastonbury FM 107.1 in the Glastonbury Street and Wells area of Somerset. It's on Thursdays between 6 and 7. It's a film review show with music from films. Also talk about movies that are on TV at the weekend.
And you get to pick the music.
I get to pick all the music. I get to pick all the films that I review and talk about. Also look at listings that are on TV at the cinema, the local cinemas, and some DVD picks. And this week we got there's a new feature, which is a new feature called Movies That Changed My Life.
Ooh.
And there'll be a very special guest on this week's show. So that's a once monthly thing, because I can probably only find the time to rustle up a guest once a month to come on the show and talk about movies that changed their life. So,
but this is something you don't normally find on the radio. This is a show whose creator has almost complete artistic freedom.
Yes, and that's why it's so good.
Yeah.
Plug away.
Okay, I make videos about programming, and they're on YouTube. There are links to all this stuff from our About page.
About.
I also make an Android About page. I also make an Android game called Rabbit Escape.
Rabbit Escape.
Rabbit Escape, which is now free on the Google Play Store, free on the Amazon Store, free on the F-Droid free and open source Android store, which you should install.
Excellent.
Please download it. Since I made it free, like 37 people have downloaded it.
Wow. Yeah. I'm still stuck. I've actually given up on it, to be honest.
What level are you stuck on?
I can't remember. I'll have to check. But yeah, it's too hard.
It does get hard.
Yeah.
The later levels get hard.
Yeah.
There is challenge there.
There is definitely challenge.
We should bring out some easier levels, actually. Might do that.
Yeah, some easy levels to please numbskulls like me.
And also, I recently made a new podcast called the Imagine Thought Experiment podcast, in which I think about like whether God exists and stuff like that. I don't think I've linked to it from the About page yet. But if you follow me on Twitter or on mastodon.social, by the way, another thing you should look into, listener, is a new social network called mastodon.social. It's like Twitter, but it's not under the control of
a corporation,
a single entity who's selling you like a product to its advertisers.
Yes. So there's no advertising. There's no corporate stuff.
That's
in
right.
your
It's
feed.
a community. It's a community controlled project, and if you don't like one server, then you can just go and hang out on another one, and they can all talk to each other. So you can follow people on a different server, and who needs a corporate entity controlling your universe?
Nobody does.
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that. It's not a good thing, kids.
So yeah, have a look at Mastodon.social. Nothing to do with me. It's just, I like the freedom. I like the free software.
Yeah,
It's free software.
Yeah. I forgot to mention there are podcast highlights of my radio show. If you search for Movie Mashup on iTunes, it's also on Stitcher as Andy's Movie Mashup. So those are
And there's the Facebook page.
There is a Facebook page called Andy's Movie Mashup. Yeah.
And if you're listening to the podcast, and you want to find us. We're called the Good Robot Andys. If you Google for Good Robot Andys, you'll find us. Also, if you use some other search engine,
Yeah.
for example, DuckDuckGo. If you search for the Good Robot Andys, you'll find us, and then we've got an about page with links to all this other stuff. All our podcasts, 2 seasons, 2 complete seasons.
Yeah.
And the beginning of a 3rd season.
Yeah, it's rocking.
Happening now.
It's happening now. It's trending right now.
As you listen, it is trending right now.
It's Bigly. It's the best.
Yeah. It's the best Good Robot Andy's podcast
By far.
available.
Yeah, available, yeah.
At the moment.
There isn't a better one.
At the moment.
Well, I foresee it being the best ever.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going very well.
I wonder if anybody actually gets this satire that we're trying to do here.
Is that what it is?
Maybe. It's a bit lame. Maybe the use of the word bigly gives it away.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah, we've got very clever listeners.
And well,
one. We've got one rare, very, very clever listener.
we've got two. Hang on. Actually, Fuzzy hasn't given us any feedback for a long time. Maybe he stopped listening.
I don't think he listens anymore.
So we have 2 listeners. We know that we have confirmed listeners. Yeah, and they're both members of our family.
But I looked at the statistics the other day, and there's all the different sources of statistics disagree. But my web server statistics that tell me how many times the file has been downloaded tell me that the most popular of our episodes get downloaded like 1,000 times a month.
That's amazing.
But I wonder whether that's lying to me. It probably is.
Who knows?
But anyway, if you listen, let us know.
Yeah, we love your feedback. There is actually...
We can bring a total up to 3 confirmed listeners.
You can put comments in and everything. We love feedback.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.